Hello everyone, today we are doing the machine editor from HackTheBox. This is an easy-rated Linux machine that features a very recent vulnerability in XWiki for initial access, followed by binding database credentials to pivot users. Finally, we'll abuse a vulnerable setuid binary inside a NetData installation to gain root using path injection. Let's jump in. Sudo nmap so the target machine will be 10. It says port 22. Port 808080 is open. So we can, maybe we can use tmux. I'm using tmux. So we can navigate to this website. Sorry, is this 94? It redirects to editor.htb. So we need to add this on etc host 5. I think need to adjust this a bit. And the IP. So we can navigate to this again. Perfect. And at this stage we can perform web enumeration. So Gobuster checklist discovering web. Gobuster. I'm going to use the. I forgot to navigate to CD YouTube editor. Perfect. So run this Gobuster command. I'd also like to run this command with the command.txt file. In the meantime, we can navigate to the website. Let's check about contact and docs and editor, download and explorer, code, MIT license. We can find server not found error for this endpoint as well. We also need to add this on the host file. So we can find the first Gobuster results, assets, and index.html. So there is no git folder, which can be used for another escalation. So go to the XWiki. This website, it should be resolvable. It is regarding simplest code, and we can find the XWiki Debian. So maybe we can search about the XWiki vulnerability. I think this is the vulnerability regarding XWiki. Maybe search exploit XWiki. So unauthenticated remote code execution in XWiki via Solar macro. Effective version or versions prior to 15.10.11. So when we navigate this again, this version on this website looks affected by this vulnerability. So we can look into this further. Flaw resides in how the SolrSearch macro improperly handles groovy expressions inside search queries. They get attackers remotely without any authentication or so I would like to navigate this GitHub for further investigation. Any guest can perform arbitrary remote code execution through a request to SolrSearch. This impacts the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of the whole XWiki installation. To produce an instance without being logged in, go to like this. Then we can, if you like look into this looks like print hello from and text and something like this. Maybe we can try this here. It is like XWiki. This is must be host and oh wait, why it fails? And HTB I'd like to open this file. It says like hello from search text. I think they kind of print send code execute hello from search and something like this. Maybe at this time we can, but like when we navigate this after text, like this looks like the URL encoding. Copy. Yes, this looks like that brace. So maybe and you can see the brace here as well. I think it's not the coincidence. Maybe we can from here to this part we can decode this part. So verb suite, maybe I'd like to use the repeater, so I will just navigate to intercept docs, then forward to repeater and close. So all I want from now is just like decode this. Oh wait, I think I encode this. So conversion URL decode. I think it is like code is print hello from search text 23 plus 19. When we navigate this again, 23 plus 19 is 14 2. So this so it looks like the group code has been executed successfully. So at this stage, like we can just lab shell generator maybe we can at this stage just like cat print we can inject another comment here. I think we can use this POC at this stage. POC related to this. So duplicate, jump and search this. Sorry. There should be good POC related to this. Example code and busybox nc and bin bash. And checking this code. Parser and I think this is the similar stuff here. So maybe we can use this POC at this time. So copy. I think we can just clone this. So I'd like to continue on this editor git clone. Oh, sorry. I think why ah that's interesting. Somehow like copy and paste is not working as expected. So I would like to use this command. So this must be like wiki editors HTB and the port. Maybe I can keep this and 20. It says like we injected the code and there could be NC and ten, 14, 20 and I think we need to set the you can set the listener at this stage. I think like this NC LMP. Oh, so we can catch a callback as the XWiki user. Now you may want to try to exploit this manually with your own script. So this requires a two-stage attack because the Groovy injection doesn't support pipes or redirects. We can't just send a one-liner, we have to download the payload to the disk and execute this. To do this correctly, we need to set up separate terminal tabs. So I would like to create another window for this process. So adjust this. So first of all, I'd like to make the script called reverse rep. So bin bash. I think we can use the rep shell. Why it does really encoded? So something like this, but we need to change this to 9002 and and I like to just add the bash like this. So if you let me explain this. So the -I, this stands for interactive. Normally when we run a script, bash just executes the commands and closes. By adding a -I, we tell bash stay open, expect a human user, give me a prompt like $, or something like this. This is what allows us to keep trying commands after the connection is made. So this operator handles the output. In Linux, 1 is standard output, what you see, and 2 is standard error, the error messages. This symbol takes both output and errors from the bash shell and shoves them into the TCP connection. So TCP connection should be this. Oh wait, I think we need to add 2 there. So the dev TCP part, this is a special feature of bash on Linux. Linux treats everything as a file, even network connections. Writing to dev TCP 10.10.14.20.9002 isn't writing to a hard drive. It tells Linux to open a TCP socket to that IP and port. So this part 0 represents standard input, usually our keyboard, and this command says take that standard input and connect it to standard output, which is 1. Since we already connected output 1 to the network in the previous step, this effectively connects the network to the input. When you type on your Kali machine, those keystrokes travel over the network and are fed directly into the victim bash shell, and if you are typing on their keyboard. So it says like start on interactive shell, throw all its output to my odd IP address, and listen to my IP address for instruction. So we would like to create a delivery system and another tmux. So nc lvmp So before we move on to this further, we would like to clarify this part. So it looks like this is the Groovy and start code block, command, and close the block. So I like to have the comment like car HTTP. This should be the where the rep file where the Python web server is executed. So this output as dev shm rep and execute text. So we would like to break down this at this moment. So if we send the payload without execute, XWiki would simply print the text, curl, and something more. So in the groove language, execute is a method attached to string objects. When the Java virtual machine sees this, it says, so this is the command to be run with this method. It takes that string and create the process, and and adding the text, we can capture the output of this. So we can I think at this moment we should like URL encode not only key characters. We need to, maybe you can try just encode, and I think it is a little bit interesting. Why I cannot see? I like to encode all characters, and I want to put this inside the XWiki this and this. We can see get 200 comment. It looks perfect. So now that the weapon is on the target, we need to pull the trigger. So we need to have this on this. So wait. So we would like to execute that ref file at this moment. So I think the appropriate command will be I can just curl and want to execute this also. So with curl command, we are telling it to go to our IP address and pick up that ref file, and So we would like to use the bash command at this moment because we have used the cursory sm. So the comment will be like this. So if you are encode this character, I think we also need to using this format before. I think we need to copy and paste this again, like copy paste this part and URL decode it, and this and this, and URL decode it again. So I'd like to curl this to execute this command and copy and paste. Oh, sorry. I think at this moment I need to also copy and paste this part, and this must be the host, so curl like this, copy and paste this. So we can also have the shell like this. So I would like to use this so we need to stabilize the shell at this moment. So script that no I think this so that tricks the system into thinking we are in proper terminal, and command Z to background the shell, and this passes our keyboard shortcuts through the victim's machine. I think echo and enter again, and I think next step will be export term extern. So we can like something like this. So we would like to move to the user terminal. So I would like to have the I think we can end this, because I think we can close this, exit. We can also close this Python web server. So now I want to do is I want to transfer the limps file. So wget, I think I will just copy and paste, and limps file and sudo python d and again, and then I can cd temp and wget. I think 80 just. So bash limps. I think I'd like to bash limps. In the meantime, I would also like to transfer the pspy file. I think after this, because we need to like check whether they're using like 32-bit or like 64-bit. But in the meantime, we can oh, why I cannot find limps.txt? That's interesting. Then I can just run this. Oh wait, I think somehow it got deleted. I think interesting. I like to have this again. I just like run this purely. In the meantime, I like to Timas and go to top. So, oh wait, interesting. I think I just need to scroll this. Users with console, Oliver and root, and they have the bash permission and the privilege into orders. Logged in users, last logins, last time logon per user, useful software, configuration, snake oil configuration, and browser profile, checking if containers available, local file, analyzing Maria files, and Tomcat. It has like root and NetData group. Root and message bus, SGID, temper. writable files. I think the folder folder we need to look for at this stage is not listed in Nympias. Maybe I'm not finding, cause Hibernate. I think yes, the folder we need to find is so etc folder, like where usually application configurations are usually stored, and I like to find the configuration file. Or usually CFG extension or XML. I think yes, we need to go XWiki. I think we can use this comment again. So Hibernate ZTM more. So first of all, and I like to navigate to like XWiki in case, and admin user from I think grab pass. Oh, I think there is like password related file if I search like this. Interesting. pass Hibernate connection XWiki. I think there could be Hibernate connection password the editor or XWiki. We need to like copy and paste this. I think I can just XWiki password 2025 and I think I like to try this one first. Password and because they could be Oliver user that we have found before. Then copy and paste. Maybe we can check this with the Oliver user. I think I can use this here because SSH Oliver editor HTB copy and paste. Oh, that's interesting. Paste selection. Oh, why? It is interesting. Why? This time, I think we can just I'll type this manually. That is interesting. Why I even cannot. I may need to Oliver and target IP 188. Perfect. So now we can navigate further. So if you check this ID, it is Oliver's ID, and so within this context, knowing that we have like NetData privileges, let's look for internal services. SS TNL. I think we can look for this like this. There is like open port such as, so we can, with SS command, which stands for socket statics, it is the modern replacement for the old netstack command. It's faster than install by default on almost all modern Linux systems. So we can use TCP and numeric and listening. And we can find the port 19999. I think they have that kind of thing. Ports. So I'll close this. Quit. I think I can quit. Okay. Oh, I think it got a little bit broken. SSH. Quit. Exit. SSH. P. The edit 1399 SSH. Oliver dot pen dot and so listen on port 19999 on my calling machine and forward any traffic through the terminal to port 19999 on the editor machine's localhost, and another one as well. I think I can just copy and paste this further. Localhost and that port. SSH should be pass. Interesting. So if you navigate to localhost I think the 8125 port hangs. Maybe you can port. I think it is one of the default ports. This just isn't listening on port. I mean unresponsive. Maybe you can move on to another one, as this is not important for this port is not important for this machine. Wait, it says like welcome to NetData. So this looks identical to where Oliver is. So I think we can move on to further. The NetData is, we can search monitoring tool, a distributed real-time observability platform designed to collect, store, and analyze system metrics with per second granularity and sub 2 second latency. So it is basically monitoring tool, but we are interested in exploit. Usually software versions, we have like warning regarding software version. I think this version, NetData version should be 1.45.2. So we can search like at 1.42 GitHub. I think we can just set exploit. It says there is this vulnerability. It is open source observability tool. In effective versions, I think it is effective version. This less than. So I think 1.45.2 is affected. We can read this. Has been discovered. The vulnerability exists in the ndsudo tool shifted affected version. So how affected? The vulnerability lies in the ndsudo tool, which is packaged as a rune-owned executable with the SUID set. While the tool is designed to run only a restricted set of external commands, it relies on the path environment variable for each search path. Attacker to control where ndsudo looks for these commands, potentially directing to a path where the attacker has write access. An attacker to gain root level privilege on affected systems, effectively achieving local privilege escalation. This means attacker could potentially execute arbitrary programs with root permissions, giving them full control over the affected system. So we can have the root permission with this. So it says like place an executable with name that is ndsudo, for example nvme, in the writable path, and set the path environment variable so that it contains this path. Run ndsudo with a command that will run the ball. So we can search more about the POC. I think copy and paste, not within this repo, and best stars. So we know that the ndsudo software is vulnerable, so we need to find that specific component that allows us to escalate privileges at this stage. So we can find name ndsudo and delete the kind of error message, but this becomes laggy. I think this is the folder where it stays. I'd like to copy and paste this one, and ls I think it is weird. I need to like user lib NetData plugins ndsudo. It has like SUID bit set. So in Linux, so the SUID bit means that no matter who runs this program, whether it's Oliver or root, the program executes as the owner, and the owner here is root. So group is NetData, where Oliver is also in. So when a binary has the SUID bit set, it ignores who ran it. So the ndsudo is owned by root, has this SUID bit set. So this means when we run as this ndsudo file, the operating system creates a process with an effective user ID of 0, which is root. So here is why this matters for our exploit. So I like to have some information for this. I think we can use help command and copy. I think that nvme stuff that I just saw is like one of the example. Command is nvme list and executables nvme. So because ndsudo trusts the path variable, so we can manipulate the nvme file, executable files. So we will put it in a folder we control, like shareable folder, and we will change our path variable for this. So now let's look at the C code we are going to compile. I'm calling this root.c file. So you might be wondering, why write C code? Why not just make a bash script that runs bash-p? The reason is that ndsudo is a binary executable, where it might execute a shell script. Using a compiled C binary is more reliable for handling user ID correctly. Compiled C code doesn't have these safety rails. It talks directly to the Linux kernel. By using C, we can make system calls before we try to run any shell commands. Look at the code again. So I'm going to create the code sudo by gcc.c curly. I'm going to just copy and paste. I think I need to adjust this. Cat ccc. So when ndsudo runs our binary, it runs with a split personality. So UID will become the 1000 and UID will. So modern shells like Beam Bash have a built-in security feature. It detects the real UID Oliver does not match the effective UID. So they will panic and drop privilege back to Oliver to prevent accidental exploitation. To stop this from happening, we run these 4 commands: set UID 0, set EUID 0, set GID 0, set EGID 0. By running these commands before we executing anything else, we essentially lock in our root status. We tell the system, I'm not Oliver pretending to be root. I am actually root. This prevents the shell we spawn next from downgrading us. So once we have fully become root, we use the system function to execute a shell command string. So we are chaining 3 commands together: cp beam bash, tmp root. So we make a copy of the system's bash binary to a temporary folder. We name it root or whatever you want. We do this because we cannot modify the real beam bash file, but we can modify our copy. We ensure our new copy is owned by root. This is critical for the next step. And this command makes our root binary set UID root. It means that later, when you run this file manually as Oliver, it will execute as root. And since it's a bash shell, it will give us a root prompt. So first we need to turn our I think turn our C code into an actual executable program that the Linux system can run. And NVMe. So why did I output the file as NVMe? So we can look for file name and ndsudo. I think that no I think ndsudo no so if you check this comment, it is like dun dun dun, like it says like the comment will be, we're going to use this. So ndsudo is programmed to run the specific command called nvme list. To do that, it search for a binary named nvme. If you name our file another thing, it won't look for it, and the attack will fail. And we can deliver this nvme file created from here. shm shared folder. And make this executable. Now our NVMe program is ready to be executed. So this is the moment of truth. We need to run ndsudo, but we need to trick it into using our file instead of the real one. We do this by modifying the path environment variable right before we run the command. Path. This tells the system for this command only. If you are looking for a program, check the dev shm folder first, and then okay. Data plugins, ndsudo, and nvme list. So this will run the vulnerable binary. So ndsudo starts up and sees it needs to run the nvme. It checks the path. It looks in dev shm and nvme file. So it will execute this file with root privileges. And now check the temp folder. Perfect. We can find that the temp folder is executed with the permission was 6. Like temp root file is like copied that we have like from the bin bash. So but bash has a built-in safety mechanism. If it notices that we are user Oliver but the file belongs to root, it will assume we made a mistake and drop the root privileges to protect the system. To bypass this safety mechanism, we must use the -p flag privileged mode. Temp root ID. It says like EU ID's root, so we can find ls cd root ls. Now we can find the flag. So I hope this information was useful, and thank you for watching this.